Shine bright up all night. We're never slowing down. Fall in love.
Hey guys, welcome to the video. So we're at the airport in Austin right now, getting ready to fly on vacation to Utah and Idaho. We're gonna spend the week there, see some family and friends, do a family reunion, so it's gonna be great. And throughout this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the 9 principles of war, and not only what they are, but also how you can apply them in everything you do in life. These are things that are used by businessmen in their business practices, and I've used it in my personal life. It's become part of how I think and how I look at the world. It's also how I play strategy games, if you really care about that kind of stuff. But these are principles that are used by the military to analyze operations and battles in the past, so you can kind of see things that people may have done wrong or where they could have done things differently. It's not necessarily a checklist that you have to do whenever you do an operation. These are just guidelines to help to guide your thinking, and it helps you to make sure that you're not leaving any openings for the enemy to exploit. So we'll talk about them as we go through the video. Okay, the first principle of war is objective, and that means for every operation have a clearly defined, decisive, and attainable objective. And you can apply this in real life by setting goals. You know, everything that you do, every endeavor you embark on, you should have an objective or a goal that you're working toward. It needs to be clearly defined, not vague, decisive, and attainable. It has to be realistic, right? And when we say decisive, that means it has to be something that's pretty final. All right, so we're in Utah now, and we're gonna stop at Cross Creek Mall and get some food real quick at Kneaders. Let's check it out. Okay, so while we're waiting for our food, we'll do the second principle of war, which is offense. And the definition of that is seize, retain, and exploit the initiative. So basically, it's all about taking the initiative in life and everything that you do. And in battle, normally, you know, smaller armies can defeat larger ones by retaining the initiative. Like once you get a victory, once you start winning, you don't just stop. You don't just rest on your laurels. You keep attacking. You keep advancing against your enemy, and that keeps them off balance, and they can keep you in control of the battlefield. And it's the same way in life. Once you've seized the initiative on something, you've got to keep it. You got to keep going after it, and just stay on the offensive. Just keep going after those things that you're trying to achieve. Got myself a little protein bar here. Give me some fuel for the next leg of the drive. All right, so we're on the road now. Really enjoyed lunch at Kneaders. That was a good call by my wife. That was her idea, her recommendation. We went to stop by and saw an old friend of mine, and then we hit the road. We're heading up to Boise now. We just had to stop to take a quick break and get some snacks for everybody. So while we're here in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, or I think I'm still in Utah actually. This is still Utah. It's on the border. But I'm going to talk about the third principle of war, which is mass. And that is defined as concentrate your combat power at the decisive place and time. So mass, concentration, basically the concept is you take everything that you have and you mass it all or concentrate it all at a certain place on the battlefield when the timing is right, in order to deal one swift, decisive blow and win the battle. One thing I learned growing up playing strategy games like Risk is a lot of it is strategy, but mostly it's about timing with those games. It's all about knowing when to strike, and when you do strike, you have to strike hard with everything you got. And same principle applies to everyday life. A lot of things that you do, you've got to know when to put all of your effort, all of your time and resources into certain projects or homework assignments or lessons for church in order to get them done and accomplished and out of the way, so then you can move on to the next task. Yep. So that's mass. I love these cool summer evenings in Idaho. And I especially love that I'm not getting assaulted by swarms of mosquitoes. They're really bad in Texas this year. Right now I can sit out here and just enjoy the nice cool air. Pink sky from the sunset. Oh, it's so cool here in Idaho. I do miss the more cooler temperatures here, at least in the summertime and in the autumn. All right, so we're here at Cup Bop Korean Barbecue in Caldwell. I'm here to meet with my friend from high school, Jordan Baldwin. We ran cross country together and took some classes together in high school, but we're eating here on his recommendation. So what I got was, it's a rice, noodle, and cabbage bowl with barbecue beef and like a spicy, tangy chicken. It's really good. What did you get?
The pork and the chicken, fried chicken.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I've never had this before, but I like it. It's a good choice. So after spending some time with my wife's family over in the Boise area, now we're in East Idaho for my family reunion. And everyone's kind of starting out the weekend in Island Park. So I wanted to come up here and show the kids the Upper Mesa Falls. I grew up seeing it as a kid, but my kids have never seen it. So this is pretty exciting. Let's go check it out. I'm not gonna lie, even to this day I still get a little bit nauseous when I get this close to something this powerful. It's pretty cool though. We're out here having the cousins dinner. So part of the family reunion is, you know, my dad and all of his siblings have a siblings dinner. So we, the next generation, started having a dinner with all of the cousins that we do at the same time. So we're over here, got a little gathering in the background. Everybody's gathered together, having our picnic together as cousins. But while I'm here, I'm just going to talk about the next principle of war, which is economy of force. Economy of force is defined as allocate minimum essential combat power to secondary efforts. All right, so basically what that means is not getting distracted by secondary or minor things, right? In real life, basically that means not getting distracted by minor distractions or ankle biters. Staying focused on that main goal, that main objective that you want to go after. Just about 1 mile from my parents' house. Sorry, looks like I'm crying. It's just so chilly here. I mean, my eyes water up while I was running here. This is Apple Athletic Club. Supposedly they let active duty military members in with a pass. So we're gonna see if they're gonna let me in and work out while I'm here for a couple days. Pretty impressive place. And there's not very many people here this early in the morning, so I pretty much got it to myself. I like it here. Okay, workout complete. Walking back to my parents' house. It's only about a mile away. I jogged here to start, but I'm just enjoying the cool, dry air of Idaho right now compared to the humidity of Texas. These cool mornings and evenings in Idaho, I just can't get enough of. It just kind of makes me want to walk and just kind of enjoy the stroll back to their house. But anyway, so yeah, that's Apple Fitness behind me. They let me right in since I was active duty military. I really appreciated that. There was a giant gym and there's hardly anybody in there, so that was great. Yeah, so while I'm out here walking around in this nice cool air, let's talk about the next principle of war, which is maneuver. And the definition of that is to place your enemy in a position of disadvantage through the flexible application of combat power. Now, what does that mean? Like, strictly speaking, in military terminology, in a battle, maneuver is something like moving part of your army onto your enemy's flank. You threaten their lines of communication. That forces them to have to move their army to try and counter you and try and defend themselves better. So you're kind of imposing your will on them on the battlefield, making them do what you want them to. In real world terms, this is all about being flexible and having that flexibility to not be disappointed by things when they don't go the way you want. One of the things that used to always get me down with my physical fitness is I would have a very strict program that I'd follow each week. And if I missed a day for whatever reason, then I felt like the whole week was screwed up and I would give up on the week and try and start over the next week. It doesn't work that way. You've got to become flexible. You know, my workout routine, I have 2 rest days built into each week. So now what I do is if I miss a day, one of those rest days becomes a makeup day or whatever. But if I end up having to miss a day for a week, who cares? It's fine. I'm still getting in 4 days out of the week. That's great. That's a heck of a lot better than most Americans do. I'm still making progress. So you just gotta be flexible like that. And, as far as outmaneuvering your enemy, in real life, your enemy is often your mind. A lot of times you just have to kind of outmaneuver yourself, your subconscious. You know what you're going to do to come up with excuses not to do things or to justify failing at something. And a lot of times you just have to outmaneuver your own mind and to beat it. So yeah, that's maneuver. So we're up in Rexburg, Idaho right now, showing the kids my alma mater, BYU, Idaho, where I went to school. We just left the Ricks building. That was where most of my classes were for political science and history. I practically lived in that building all day, every day for the last 2 or 3 years I was in college. It still smells the same. Just walking in there and smelling the building, it like made me feel like, I want to do some learning. I want to do some reading. Right now we're gonna head to the gardens where I proposed to my wife, unofficially. This way, guys. But while we're out here, we'll talk about the next principle of war, which is unity of command. Unity of command is, for every operation, ensure unity of effort under one responsible commander. And that just means having one person who's in charge and everybody knows they're in charge and they take charge and they direct everybody's efforts. When you have more than one person in charge, it causes contention and confusion. And this is true with everything in life too. I recently finished an online course. And I was working in a group of 3 and we're working on a project. And initially in the first meeting I started out, I kind of took charge of everything and directed everybody what to do. And everybody agreed with it. And I said, great, so let's all meet up 1 week from tonight and we'll see where we're at. Or we'll be done with our first phase of the project and we'll turn that in and we'll go from there. And then the next week, one of the other guys in the group kind of took charge of things, and that was fine with me too. But everybody knew what they needed to do. We had timelines set and everybody followed it because there was one person in the group who was constantly leading the group and directing all of our efforts. And so that made it easier for us to accomplish our objective and finish the project on time and get an excellent grade on it. So that's unity of command. So here we are. This is where I unofficially proposed to my wife. Inside there. Some of you may be wondering what it means, unofficially proposed, right? Officially, unofficially. So we were here and we were just kind of holding each other, just kind of rocking back and forth, dancing. Get out of the camera view. You guys aren't supposed to be on here. And anyway, so I was basically talking to Kimmy about, where are we at? Where do we go from here? What are we? And I told her I felt like we were ready to take our relationship to the next level. And she asked me, well, what's that? And I got nervous and I kind of tensed up, and then I said, marriage? And she had her arms around me, and all she did was she just tightened her grip on me. She just like squeezed me tighter. So that was my answer, that she had said yes. Anyway, so that was, I know, it doesn't sound very romantic. It was a week later that I got down on one knee and officially proposed to her with the ring. But this was where I unofficially told her that I wanted to marry her, and she confirmed that she wanted to get married as well. So kind of a special place. All right, so this is where I officially proposed to my wife. There used to be a big statue of Thor right here, and then there are couches next to it. It's been replaced by these trees and gym equipment. Apparently the gym is under construction. But we were sitting on the couches here, overlooking the football field next to Thor. And that was when I got down on one knee and held out the ring and proposed to her. So this is where I officially proposed. Okay, so we're back from vacation. We're back in Texas. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. I didn't get around to doing the last 3 principles of war while we were on vacation, so I'll just do those real quick here and we'll just wrap this up. So the last 3 principles of war are simplicity, which is keeping your orders and your directions clear and concise and unconfusing, right? That makes sense. Everything else you do in life, you should simplify things as much as possible and not try to make everything so convoluted. All right, you need to, this kind of goes hand in hand with having that clearly defined objective that you're working towards. And you also have security, which is not allowing the enemy to gain an unexpected advantage over you. Yeah, it's just all about putting out screens and scouts and constantly having surveillance and intelligence up and running so that you're constantly evaluating possible threats to prevent your enemy from doing something that would surprise you and give them an advantage over you. This happens a lot of times in real life as well. There are a lot of things that can pop up and surprise you that if you would just plan ahead and think about possible scenarios. You know, what we do in the military when we're planning is we always plan a most likely scenario and a most dangerous, or in other words, like the worst case scenario. And then we plan for both. And that's something you can do in work and school and everything else as well. And you can almost always predict and plan ahead for things before they happen. You'll be surprised what you can anticipate when you actually think about it and plan ahead. So that's security. Then the last one is surprise, which is the opposite of security, all right? It's advantageous for us to be able to get the element of surprise on our enemies, to be able to strike them at a time or at a place or in a way for which they're unprepared. And you know, obviously you could use this, you could apply this to business as well. There's other ways you can apply this to your everyday life. I have to apologize. We flew in late last night and my head was pounding and I didn't get very much sleep last night. And today I was rushing to help get all the kids out to school. And anyway, I'm still recovering from the travel. So I'm gonna have to sign off, but thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So that'll help me to get out there to more people so I can hopefully reach out to more folks. So help me out in that endeavor and subscribe and like my videos. Thanks.